Hi, thanks for joining us. It's great to introduce the 2021 Jaguar coaching staff. I spent the good portion of last month putting this puzzle together. It's a mix of really incredible NFL experience when you look at it along with collegiate experience with the transition of the game of the NFL moving more towards the schematics of college football. Qualities I look for, experts at what they do. I believe 904 deserves the very best. I feel great about the staff. Took a lot of time, a lot of effort. The most interviews I've really ever had in my career to put this thing together, but I feel great about it. And obviously, time will judge and time will test how we do. I feel great about it, and we'll take any questions from you guys.
All right, thank you, Coach. We're going to begin with John Osher of Jaguars.com.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering about Charlie Strong. How important was that hire, and what will his role be as the assistant head coach?
Yeah, he was my first hire. He's going to be the number 2. That means the assistant head coach, and he'll be in front of the team. He'll be my right-hand man, as he's been many, many times over my time at Florida. I always tell people that the chance of us winning those 2 national championships without Charlie Strong would not have happened. High character guy, great family, someone that I trust explicitly, and then also a guy that, a guy I just feel very strong about being in front of the team, being in that locker room, and being at my side. So first hire, and arguably one of the most, if not the most important hire.
All right, thanks, John. Let's go over to Gene Fournette of the Florida Times-Union, and then Mike DiRocco.
Hey, Urban, could you talk a little bit about how you forged your relationship with Joe Cullen? And did you try to hire him, I believe, maybe in your second year at Ohio State?
I've known Joe Cullen a long time. I've always studied his defensive line play. He's considered, if not the best, one of the best defensive line coaches in the game. But I've known Joe a long time. I also have tremendous respect for the way the Baltimore Ravens play defense. Now we're going to be the Jaguar defense, but systematic. When he came on, the systematic style, they go about their business, the history of success, and the fact that he came in his interview, and we interviewed quite a few people for that position, and he did an excellent job.
Did you try to hire him your second year at Ohio State?
I had conversations with him about joining. I want to say even in Florida, we had conversations, and it never, we couldn't find the right fit. But he's a guy that I've looked forward to get on my staff several times.
Thanks, Gene. All right, let's go over to Mike DiRocco.
Urban, can you address the hiring of Chris Doyle? He left Iowa, had a separation agreement there after some allegations of racist remarks and bullying and belittling some black players there.
Yeah, I've known Chris for close to 20 years. Our relationship goes back to when I was at Utah, and he was the #1 strength coach. And really, he was doing sports performance before sports performance became a high priority in college sports. And so I've known him, I've studied him. We've had a relationship. I vetted him thoroughly along with our general manager and owner. Feel great about the hire, about his expertise at that position. So we vetted him thoroughly, and sports performance is going to be a high priority as it really in the last probably, 10 years, really certainly at Ohio State, that became, if not the most important. You guys know my relationship with Coach Marotti at Ohio State, but this whole from strength training room, physical therapy, sports psychology, nutrition, that all falls under the sports performance team umbrella. And I wanted to get the best of the best.
So you had no reservations hiring him based on the allegations and what happened at Iowa, and why hire him instead of going in a different direction?
Oh, sure. I vet everyone on our staff, and like I said, the relationship goes back close to 20 years, and a lot of hard questions asked, a lot of vetting involved, and with all our staff. But we did a very good job vetting that one.
So you're confident there's not going to be any issues?
Yeah, there won't.
Going forward?
very confident.
All right,
Thank
thanks, D-Rock. Let's go over to Mark Long and then Cole Pepper.
Yeah, did you have to get Shad's permission to hire him, Chris Doyle?
Shad was involved with our high-end hires, and he was involved.
And are you at all concerned that him being in the building will impact your ability to attract free agents?
If I was, I wouldn't have hired him. Once again, I'll explain that if that becomes a question. The one thing I'm very confident is that I would imagine within a year or two we'll have the best sports performance team in the National Football League. And as far as, last few years, we've had serious issues with injuries. I want to say 63 games were missed on just the defensive side of the ball because of injuries, where in 2017 there were only 2. So keeping players healthy at their maximum performance is a high priority for, and mine has really changed over the years about the priority of that. In Ohio State, we became, I'm very biased, but we became the best in college football. Now our job is to make sure we become the best in professional football.
Thanks, Mark. All right, let's go over to Cole Pepper and then Mia O'Brien.
Urban, of the guys, you have a number of guys who you have coached with in the past on this staff. Of the guys who you didn't have a previous history coaching with, what were important traits to really understand and learn about them? You talk about them being experts in their area, so there's a reputation, but are there things beyond what they've done that you were looking for to be a part of this staff?
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges in National Football League you don't have in college. Contracts, how fast. I was hired at a time where, we put in the paperwork, which was fairly new to me. You put in paperwork and want to visit with people under contract in the National Football League. And a lot of guys were, even before I was in my position at Jacksonville, and I never even got them on the organization to get the interview in. So that was new to me. I mean, this was I don't want to say college is much easier, but college, you don't have the same issues as far as contractual obligations to NFL franchises. And I mean, for every spot, there was multiple interviews. And it was expertise is what I like to say is, as I will tell our team, that my job is to provide you with the best of the best of the best. And that's to enhance your value as a player. And how do you enhance your value as a player? You become an expert at what you do and you play for a great organization and win games. And so you're going to hear that quite often. My number one responsibility is enhance these players' value. And by the way, winning games enhances everyone's value.
Thank you, Cole. All right, let's go to Mia O'Brien and then JP Shadrick.
Hi, Coach. Just circling back to Chris Doyle's hire. Obviously, this was the youngest roster in the NFL last year. It will be a young roster again. Given that a lot of these guys were in college when a lot of those allegations surfaced, how do you feel that your players will respond to this hire?
Well, I met with our staff about it, and I'm going to be very transparent with all the players like I am with everything, and listen closly and learn. And also, there's going to have to be some trust in their head coach that we're going to give them the very best of the best. And time will tell. Once again, a player that's hurt and not performing or not maximized with strength and prehab ability, so they're getting hurt or they're not performing at the highest level, I think is a high priority. The allegations that took place, I will share, I vetted them. I know the person for close to 20 years, and I can assure them there will be nothing of any sort in the Jaguar facility.
And what do you envision day-to-day wise? What will his relationship, his role be with players? Obviously, I know there's a lot of new titles. It's not just like there's one strength and conditioning coach. What would his day-to-day role be?
He's a director, so he reports directly to me. And then underneath them, you have the strength program. You have the training room. You have the equipment room. You have sports psychology. And I don't have it in front of me. Anyone who has any contact with our players will be direct reports to Chris. And his job is to make sure we're doing the best of the best. So when with the strength staff, we study all the analytics involved in training. Also the physical therapist, which is he's a expert in these areas. There's just anything sports performance related. And I also include the equipment room in that. I obviously include our nutrition, our nutrition program. So all those will all fall under the direction of Chris. By the way, we'll have, like I did at Ohio State, we'll have, in 2014, we won a national championship because we had 0 soft tissue injuries. And I can give you a bunch of statistical information about what's going on here the last couple of years, and it's not very good. It's something that had to be completely revisited. And at the end of the day, make sure these guys are getting I call it the culture of excellence, and it's going to be the best of the best. How's our training table? Better be the best of the best. How's our weight training and prehab to make sure these guys are getting the very best? And we put together a new strength staff I feel great about. We're still in conversation about the training, athletic trainers to make sure they're the best of the best. And I feel very good about our nutrition, but I can go through each one. That's going to be very important. I'm going to spend as much time on that as I have our coaching staff.
Awesome.
Thank you,
And then just
Mia.
one quick thought. Oh, okay. All right. No
Yeah,
worries.
sorry, we got to move on. Let me go ahead and go to JP Shadrick.
Hey, Urban. Offensive coordinator Bevel and the passing game coordinator Schottenheimer. How do you see those guys working together? What stood out about their interview process, and how do you keep the message consistent to the quarterback room?
Yeah, that was to tell you the amount of time I spent on that hire and the amount of people we interviewed was as many as I've really ever done. I knew of Darrell Bevel, have always had great respect. Our coach Day studied under him a little bit, not directly coaching for him. I did speak with Ryan. I did speak with several coordinators, and his interview was by far the best. His ability to adapt to my vision of the offense, which is a little different maybe than he's done in the past. The flexibility and not rigidness that was very important to me because we do have the first pick in the draft. And there is a vision that I have about the style of offense. I'm certainly not going to call plays. That's his responsibility. But I have a real clear vision of what I want the offense to look like. And he was great. And then you have an opportunity to hire a guy like, and by the way, Brett Favre I called, 10 people about Darrell and Brett Favre, who I've known for quite some time. When he made a comment, that's as good a coach as he's ever been around. And by the way, I had my best year with him at Minnesota. And he said, hire the guy. Brett Favre, the respect I think we all have for him, I listened closely. And then Brian Schottenheimer was great. The success or the years that Russell Wilson had, you go back to Sam Bradford. You look at Mark Sanchez, what they did at New York Jets, and his background. I've known Brian from when I was at the University of Florida is when I first met Brian. So I think the two of them together, we met at great lengths before Brian decided to come with us because he had other opportunities. And so far after, a week of having them together and being involved in those meetings, if you had to say what's my favorite thing to do right now would be to go sit in those offensive meetings and hear our offensive staff have conversations.